Hey, welcome back to the Crypto Crossroads. In today's episode, we are going to discuss a project called LightLink, and I think it's a hidden gem because of two things. One, it has powerful technology, and two, it has friends in high places. So, quick disclaimer, this project is not popular. Not many people are talking about it on YouTube or even X, but that's okay. There's a lot of hidden gems in the crypto space and we can't catch them all, but the ones that we can, we should. As long as the project has leads that we can follow and speculation could be made based off research. But anyways, these type of picks are my favorite because it allows me to do two things. It grants me the ability to take my time, develop a sense of understanding for the project. And secondly, it allows me to buy projects when they're dirt cheap and hidden gems that are, cheap with low market cap, small supply. I can buy them all day. But that's me. Everybody has their own investment style. Whatever you do, that's cool. That's your style. I respect it. But this video is not really about, buying or selling, is more about telling you what's going on. So without further ado, let me tell you guys how highly connected this project is. And it is, you know what? No. Actually, it's not even connected to a huge conglomerate in Asia. It's actually partially owned by this conglomerate. And this conglomerate actually owns a bunch of 7-Elevens in Thailand. It owns a bunch of real estate in the Asian Pacific region, and it does a lot of business with many companies. Essentially, you could think of it about if you will, you can call it the Asian Blackrock. And let me just stop talking in circles and start talking in a mysterious way. I'm just gonna tell you the companies that are connected to LightLink. So these companies are CP Group, Pellar Technology, and the way these companies are connected is that Pellar Technology actually owns LightLink because it designed and developed the technology for the network. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is CP Group connected to this whole network? And now let me tell you, the way CP Group is connected to these two companies is because it has an agreement with the Pellar Technology that grants CP Group partial ownership of Pellar Technology. So, in a nutshell, since CP Group owns Pellar Technology and Pellar Technology owns LightLink, then essentially the CP Group actually owns LightLink. It's that simple. But if you don't believe me, then check out this clip where Roy Hui, the founder of LightLink, talks about the connection between Pellar Technology and CP Group.
About a year or so ago, we were partly acquired by one of the largest conglomerates in Asia called the CP Group. And in this journey across the group, we're looking at how we can add value to the conglomerate, because there are telcos, there are real estate companies, there are retailers, convenience stores, lots of different things within the organization. We currently have 5 different projects within the group, but you're really looking at larger enterprise rollouts, right? When you look at True Mobile, the True Wallet as an application, there are 40 million users as the install. So when we look at, if you walk into a convenience store and you're issued with a digital collectible, how do you do something like that? And it's very difficult to use a closed off enterprise blockchain, and it's very difficult to use a layer 1 blockchain.
Now, what does this mean, right? For LightLink, a project that is dirt cheap. It's a hidden gem, in my opinion. How could we connect the dots and see how this connection benefits LightLink? That's a good question. So let me tackle it the best that I can. And the way that I see it is CP Group owns a bunch of 7-Elevens. So they're processing a bunch of payments. They own a bunch of real estate. So there's a lot of deeds that are being processed through escrow and whatnot. And they're connected to a whole bunch of companies, clients, and business partners. Now, let's look at some numbers. The CP Group made over $80 billion in revenue back in 2023. So, now, why was CP Group, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, private companies in Thailand, want to own and continue to invest in a layer 2 blockchain like LightLink? Well, we have to think about it. CP Group owns a bunch of companies as subsidiaries and it conducts a lot of business. So it's always incurring transactions no matter what it's doing, whether it's 7-Eleven transactions, acquisition of property, and buying and selling them. All these things could be logged onto a blockchain for pennies using a layer 2 like LightLink. So it makes complete sense for CP Group to want to onboard its companies and its clients onto a LightLink network to avoid, huge penalties through fees and middlemen. And LightLink could cut them all. And LightLink could do a lot of stuff actually, which is the reason why CP Group decided to partially own LightLink and also invest in it through its subsidiaries known as T&D Media Global and MQDC. So let's talk about CP Group, its background, its subsidiaries, and more importantly, its family tree. CP Group was founded in 1921 originally as a C shop, but over the years, it expanded to different fields and became a global company. Almost 60 years after the founding of the company, CP Group started a different branch, which was used to develop real estate property. And in 1988, CP Group began to operate convenience stores known as 7-Eleven. All right, so bear in mind that CP Group is a family business. And fast forward to 2025, the current senior chairman is known as Dhanin Chearavanont. And before I forget, it's really important to know that CP Group conducts business in China, Thailand, and pretty much everywhere, but it's deeply rooted in China and Thailand. So keep that in mind. So here's where the CP Group and the LightLink connection gets interesting. Dhanin is the senior chairman who happens to have a daughter, the youngest of his children, named Tipaporn Areyava Romp, who is the founder of the Magnolia Quality Development Corporation Limited, known as MQDC for short. And this is one of the branches of CP Group that is in charge of developing real estate. Tipaporn is married to a man named Jawanwat, who is the founder of TMB Media Global, which is another CP Group entertainment subsidiary. So you see the connections? So as you can tell, this is truly a family business. So let me rewind a little bit and give you the breakdown. In a nutshell, CP Group partially owns Pellar Technology, which is the developer of LightLink. So by CP Group owning Pellar Technology partially, then it also partially owns LightLink. But then the CP Group subsidiaries known as TMB Media Global and MQDC, owned by his daughter of the chairman and his son-in-law, invested into the company named LightLink. So what exactly does TMB Media Global and MQDC do? Let me tell you. TMB Media Global is a 360-degree entertainment company that manages its own production, marketing, and distribution. And this also has a heavy presence in Thailand and China. MQDC, on the other hand, is an international property developer which happens to own plenty of resorts and hotels throughout the Asian region. So, okay, that's just part of the family tree. I got to give you guys a bigger picture. Let's take a look at other family members that might have some type of connection to LightLink. And I'm excited to share the following information because LightLink might have some type of partnership with one of the biggest Thailand cryptocurrency projects because of the close proximity to these family lines. Now, we established that the senior chairman of CP Group is named Dhanin, and his older brother named Dhanin Chearavanont is the executive chairman, who happens to be the father of this man named Chachaval Chearavanont. Now, Chachaval is the current chairman of Velo Labs. and the cousin of Tipperporn who founded MQDC and invested into LightLink. Now, do you see the connections? Let me tell you what I think. I don't think that LightLink and Velo are competitors to each other because they are under the same family tree, the same business. So I think that there might be a potential partnership between LightLink and Velo, given that both projects could do just about anything from processing payments or tokenizing real world assets. So the question is, will Velo be in charge of processing all of the 7-Eleven payments, or will it be a joint effort with the help of LightLink? You know, it's all speculation, but given that they have close proximity to each other, there might be something boiling up behind the scenes. Now, we all know that Velo is connected to the Stellar Network, and LightLink does have some connection to Stellar Network, but we will talk about it in another video. Okay, so let's wrap this video up. In essence, LightLink is partially owned by CP Group because CP Group owns the developer of LightLink, known as Pellar Technology. And LightLink might be in close proximity to the Thailand project known as Velo Labs because it is under the same family tree known as CP Group. Now, in case you missed it, let me summarize what CP Group is. You can think of CP Group as the Asian Blackrock, and in fact, there is an individual on X who is always talking about Velo, BlackRock, and even the connections from BlackRock to CP Group. And this person is known as Pure8. The Twitter handle is Pure8Nature. So shout out to them. They're really knowledgeable on these projects and these companies. So I suggest that you take a look at his or her profile. But that's about it, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.